To convert what marketing does into layman's terms, if you will, for your board of directors or leadership, it's really important that you can take it down to a level that people understand that don't speak marketing speak. Using technical terms doesn't work. Explaining to them exactly what techniques you used and what tactics you used in every single channel also doesn't work because you're losing them about 30 seconds into the conversation. You really have to say, okay, we went out there and for example, we spoke to X people through multiple channels. We reached this many people. And what we really got out of it are the following things. And you want to really convert that into something that they can understand that's tangible. So, for instance, in our case, we look at our marketing campaigns as a whole and where we give them somewhat of a granular report of what the marketing team actually did. They really only look at the executive summary where you're sort of converting that into a half a page elevator speech, what the results of your entire year's work really are. And for us, that means we grew our membership. We doubled our membership in the last 2 years. And how did we do that? Well, we talked to them here, here, and here. We actually rebranded our organization. They understand that to some degree because they saw the colors change and the logo change. And we tried to communicate to them what that meant and why that was important for our audience because it differentiated ourselves from a competitor because we looked very similar, so they could understand that. You really want to understand, even when you're talking to your internal audience, what is the message you're trying to convey to them and how do they understand what you're doing on a daily basis? It's not any different than marketing a product or service to the external audiences that you're trying to reach. The internal audience is just as important because if you cannot communicate what you did and how it benefited the organization, your budgets are going to shrink rapidly. So, because they don't understand what the value of sales and marketing is. So we really take quite a bit of time to sit down and say, okay, so if we were to explain this to somebody, what are the success numbers? What were the failures? And what have we learned from these failures, which is equally important because you oftentimes have to justify why certain things that you funded didn't work. And you want to be able to explain that just as well as the things that did work. Because you want the money back next year in terms of your budget, perhaps. And if you cannot justify to make the case again for either a course direction or a course change or even doing it again, but doing it better, you have to be able to explain that to someone who hasn't been part of that project and on the level that you might have been. And it's really important to teach your staff how to do that, to roll it up the chain. And really be able to clearly communicate what worked and what didn't.